in the heart of Golden Hollow, where endless fields of dry yellow grass bent under the constant wind, there stood a small wooden house that seemed forgotten by time. Its paint had long faded, its roof creaked softly each night, and no footprints ever led to its door except one set of tired wheels and 4 gentle paws. There was no laughter of children, no neighbors stopping by, no warmth, except what was created inside. Living, there was Mrs. Agnes Turner, an elderly woman whose body had weakened with age, and her only companion, a golden-coated dog named Milo. They were 2 fragile lives leaning on each other to survive, quietly, humbly, bound together, not by blood but by something deeper than words. Inside the narrow room, Agnes struggled daily with the simplest tasks. One afternoon, she reached for a bottle of medicine placed on a high wooden shelf. Her arm trembled, her fingers grasped the air, and finally fell back to her lap. Before frustration could settle in, Milo stood on his hind legs, carefully took the bottle in his mouth, and gently placed it into her open hand. Agnes looked at him with tired eyes, and whispered, "Only you are left with this, old woman. It is not a complaint. It is simply the truth." Food was scarce in Golden Hollow. Some days their only meal was half a piece of stale bread. Agnes always gave it all to Milo, insisting she was not hungry, and drank water instead. Milo watched her closely, sensing her sacrifice, his tail resting still on the floor. One stormy evening, hunger pushed Milo to make a difficult choice. Rain soaked his fur as he ran toward the distant town, searching desperately for food. He was chased away from trash bins, yelled at near closed shops, and driven away from a small roast chicken store. "Get out of here!" voices shouted. His body trembled, not just from the cold, but from hunger. Then, along the road, a man noticed Milo's pleading eyes. Without saying much, he handed him a bag containing a whole roasted chicken. Milo sniffed it briefly, then turned and ran. He did not eat a single bite. Instead, he carried the bag home, placed it carefully on the bed, and nudged Agnes awake. That night, they shared the meal slowly, like a real family, savoring every bite as if it were a gift from the world itself. Days later, tragedy arrived without warning. As Agnes was being pushed down a steep slope in her wheelchair, the brake suddenly failed. She was thrown onto the cold grass, pain shooting through her fragile body. Her paralyzed legs would not move. Dark clouds gathered overhead, and rain began to fall heavily. Milo panicked. He barked loudly, running around her in circles. He stood between 2 instincts, run to find help or stay by her side. Agnes weakly whispered, "Go home." But Milo chose to stay. In the freezing rain, Milo lay down, pressing his body against Agnes' legs and chest. His golden fur became soaked and clumped together. His body trembled violently in the cold wind, yet he did not move. Through the long, merciless night he became her final blanket, giving up his warmth, his strength, and ultimately his life to keep her alive. When morning came, a passing truck finally stopped. Agnes was barely breathing, but alive. Beside her lay Milo, motionless forever. This story, though simple, carries a powerful truth. Animals may not speak, but they know how to love. They may not make promises, but they understand sacrifice. And if a small, voiceless creature can remain loyal until its final breath, then we as humans must ask ourselves, can we learn to be kinder, more compassionate, and more protective toward those who are weaker than us? Sometimes animals are the most human thing left in this